Arbeit macht frei. Work brings freedom. Men, who must have been in a different part of the train, were taken back in through the gate, along with some women. It was impossible to make out which women were chosen and why. The rest of us were formed into fives and went staggering on, picking our way with the help of the erratic glare from the 3 layers of illuminated electrified fencing. Above stood a rank of high watchtowers. The railway line petered out. We kept going until we were halted at another gate and a guardhouse. This was, in fact, the entrance to Auschwitz II, Birkenau. Though at the time we knew nothing of the names or the significance of this bewildering place. A dank chill caught at us. The whole area was shrouded in a clinging grey mist. But dawn was breaking, or was it really dawn? A reddish glow through the mist was flickering in the weirdest way, and there was a sticky, fatty, cloying smell. Mother and I glanced at each other, baffled. Who could be roasting meat, great quantities of it, at this hour in the morning?
Primo Levi was born in Turin, Italy. A trained chemist, he was set to work as a slave labourer in Auschwitz-Monowitz. After the war, he wrote many poems, novels and memoirs.
Do you recognise us? We are the ghetto sheep, shown for 1,000 years, resigned to injury. We are the tailors and copyists, the cantors withered in the shadow of the cross. Now we know the forest paths. We have learned to shoot and move right on target. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If not like this, how? If not now, when? Our brothers have risen to the sky through the ovens of Sobibor and Treblinka. They have dug themselves a grave in the air. Only we few have survived for the honour of our submerged people, for revenge and witnessing. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If not like this, how? And if not now, when? We are the sons of David and stubborn ones of Masada. Each of us carries in his pocket the stone that shattered Goliath's forehead. Brothers, away from Europe of graves, we will climb together toward the land where we shall be men among other men. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If not like this, how? And if not now, when?
I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Are we not fed with by the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
voices even as I speak, like dark spirits hovering over me, saying, "Careful, careful, don't knock the bones." The guards with their black boots tell me to hurry, or I might be next. If they hear the voices, they do not say so, yet they hear the bones rattle as the broom pushes them across the floor. The ovens are already dark, stained black with soot that never comes clear, even though I scrub and scrub. I fear the dark when the voices talk more, and when I almost see the shapes kneeling on the ground, like grotesque gargoyles, begging guards for mercy none of us ever expect them to grant. I think often of my last birthday, before the soldiers came, and my mother making me a cake with 10 candles on it. Bolshaw seems years ago, and I feel so old, as ancient as my grandmother. Though I will see no candles this year, and I'm afraid to count. The guards, for amusement, sometimes ask me to count the bones, needing to make certain that all who walked in come out again, bones piled high in the barrel I push. I don't know which one is my mother's or my father's. Once I dreamed of killing those who killed them. My nights are filled with revenge my days never see. I cannot dream. Or maybe the dreams I do dream are so filled with the voices I know I no longer have the ability to speak, and I see their shadows, day, light, or night, of people who have already turned to dust. Once I believed somebody might save me before my voice turned to whispers, and my body turned to dust. Now I sweep and scrub and count the bones, waiting for my time when somebody else will sweep me up.
Cain was a Polish Jew who migrated to France at some point between the wars. He was deported to Auschwitz from Drancy in March 1943 and put to work in the Sonderkommando. The extracts below are from a letter written in reply to a message he received from his wife and daughter who were hiding in France in July 1944. Herman buried his letter by Crematorium 2, where it was discovered in February 1945. The expected liquidation of his group that he refers to took place on the 26th of November 1944.
November 6, 1944. When I write today with great risk and danger, I do it in order to tell you that this is my last letter. Our days are numbered, and if one day you receive this missive, you'll have to include me among the millions of our brothers and sisters who have vanished from this world. I am taking this opportunity of assuring you that I am leaving calmly and perhaps heroically. This will depend on circumstances, with one sorrow only, that I cannot see you once more, not even for one moment. I ask your forgiveness, my dear wife, if there have been, at various times, trifling misunderstandings in our life. Now I see how one was unable to value the passing time. I constantly thought here that, should I by some miracle get out of here, I would begin a new life. But alas, this is impossible. Nobody gets out of here. All is over. I am sending you my last farewell forever. These are my last greetings. I embrace you heartily for the last time, and I beg you once more, do believe me that I am going away calmly, knowing that you are alive and our enemy is broken. It is even possible that through the history of Sonderkommando, you will learn the exact day of my end, and I am in the last group of 204 persons. Just now, Crematorium 2 is being liquidated. where I am waiting in tenseness. Farewell, my dear wife and my dear Simone. Accept my wishes and live in peace. May God keep you in his care. Thousands of kisses from your husband and father.
The wind runs free across our plains. The live sea beats forever at our beaches. Man makes earth fertile, earth gives him flowers and fruit. He lives in toil and joy. He hopes, fears, begets sweet offspring. And you have come, O precious enemy, forsaken creature, man ringed by death. What can you say now before your assembly? Will you swear by a god? What god? Will you leap happily into a grave? Or will you at the end, like the industrious man whose life was too brief for his long art, then make your sorry work unfinished, with 13 million still alive? Ah, son of death, we do not wish you death. May you live longer than anyone has ever lived. May you live 5 million sleepless nights, and may you be visited each night by the suffering of everyone who saw, shutting behind them, that door that blocked the way back, so it grew around them, the air filled with death.
He has a nice face, and kind eyes, and very soft hands. So I don't understand how hands so soft can cause so much pain. He wakes us each morning and tells us unworthy we are, striding up our lines to look closely at each other, for something none of us can see. If we could see it, we might change it before he sees it. We think it's a flaw in our faces or a look in our eyes he does not like. Sometimes he even smiles before he frowns, as to tell this person that all will be well when it won't be. We all know this person or that person in this line we stand in must die today. After so many times we know someone must die, we just don't know who. And we understand we die because he wants us to die, and it's up to him to decide which one of us he wants on which particular day. So when he wakes us up each morning, and one of us wonders which one of his kind eyes and soft hands will kill next, and how many days it will take him to kill us all, and if in the end, which one of us are the really most fortunate, the ones who die first or those who suffer day after day, waiting for our turn to come, to have his kind eyes turn to us and say, "You're the one."
Abraham Kokovich was sent to Auschwitz-Birkenau on the last transport from Lodz. He was murdered in September 1944, aged 14, in Auschwitz-Birkenau.
When I grow up and reach the age of 20, I'll set out to see the enchanted world. I'll take a seat in a bird with a motor. I'll rise and soar high into space. I'll fly, sail, hover over the lovely, faraway world. I'll soar over rivers and oceans. Skyward shall I ascend and blossom. A cloud, my sister, the wind, my mother. I'll marvel at the Euphrates and the Nile. I'll see the pyramids and the Sphinx of ancient Egypt where the goddess Isis reigned. I'll fly over Niagara Falls and immerse myself in the Saharan Sahara dune. I'll drift over the cloud-strewn cliffs of Tibet and the mysterious land of the wizards. And once I extricate myself from the scorching, terrifying wave of heat, I'll meander over the icebergs of the north. By winds I'll cross the great Kangaroo Island and the ruins of Pompeii, and the holy lands of the Old Testament, and over the land of the renowned Homer. I'll fly slowly, slowly, hovering lazily, and thus, in the enchantments of this world, Skyward shall I soar and blossom. A cloud, my sister. The wind, my brother.
Forever and ever. This is our place.
Hours. It was a long journey. It took long enough to find it. It was worth every mile we trampled.
It was worth every day we searched. Look at it. Just look.
Look here.
Look there.
Look.
Look!
Look!
Who are you?
Who are you?
We've come a long way.
We've come a long way. We want to live here. We won't let you drive us away. We don't want to drive you away.
Isn't there enough room for us all?
You can have all you see from there to here.
You can have all you see from here to there.
Agreed?
Agreed.
We have come to a conclusion.
A conclusion is a good thing to come to. We've reached an agreement.
It's always as well to reach an agreement.
But you take that stretch of country wall, its natural amenities, grazing rights, water rights, hunting rights, fishing rights, Arab land and mineral deposits. And you take that stretch of land with all its natural amenities, etc., etc. Furthermore, yes, furthermore, for the benefit of all concerned,
Does that include us?
that includes everybody. There's a line be drawn. A line? Yes, a line. There's a line be drawn to mark the place where our land ends and yours begins.
Ah yes, I was about to add that a line be drawn to mark where our land ends and yours begins.
Good fences make good neighbours.
Good neighbours make good fences. Shall we mark it now?
Why not?
Chalk?
String.
It's a good line.
Though I say to myself,
I don't know.
Are you criticising this line?
Perhaps you could make a better line.
Yes, what have you got against our line?
chickens.
Bump bump.
You wonder how? I know something about chickens, I do. I was raised with chickens, and I'll tell you this. Chickens can't read. Chickens can't read?
But what difference does that make to this line?
Oh, none at all to your line.
What's your chickens for that matter?
No use putting up your beware of the bull signs. No use sticking up your trespassers will be prosecuted notices. You might as well forget your one-way streets and roads closed. The chickens go where they want to go. No use drawing a line and expect the chickens to stay on this side or that, for that matter. But what does it matter where the chickens go?
Well, if it doesn't matter, then there's no more to be said.
Good! Now we can get on with! But suppose it should be sheep? Sheep.
Sheep can't read either. At least, I never saw a sheep reading.
A line won't stop a sheep from straying.
Especially if they can't read.
Or cows from wandering.
No. What was this from getting on?
Yay!
And that's rabbits.
Okay, what do you want?
Schools for animals!
Fences!
We need walls.
They're going to have to stop cows from breaking through.
High enough to stop chickens from flying over.
Good walls make good neighbours.
Good neighbours make good walls.
You want walls?
Shall we build walls?
Before we do anything else,
This high?
Hiya, think of the horses.
This high?
Higher. Think of the cows.
This high? Hiya, think of the chickens. I think that should be enough.
Yes, that should do.
It better do. Now make it fast.
And build the wall.
Build a wall. For the builder. Can we fix it? For the builder. Yes, we can. For the
That's a wall. That ought to last.
And nothing we need to know about building a wall.
Except how to make a way over, or through, or round.
Are you there?
everyone's satisfied. Everything went according to plan. What now?
We settled down, and you?
We settled down too. It's good land.
It's very good land, and we're lucky. We've got good neighbours.
Good neighbours make good walls.
Good walls make good neighbours.
Goodbye then. There's work to be done. Goodbye. Let's get down to work.
Bless you.
I wonder what they're doing. Over there.
Over there? Over there. What do you think they're doing?
Why?
Why not? Why do you wonder what they're doing? Over there.
We can't see them, can we?
They can't see us.
I just wondered. Anybody can wonder. Just a thought, but like, spring and summer come before autumn, winter, or does autumn, winter come first? Like, can I let them think?
Like, what are they doing? Over there.
Usual things, I suppose.
So we're doing the usual things. What do you mean, usually?
Things that you usually do. The things that they usually
The
do.
things that we would usually do.
Not the things that they usually do. You said the things that we usually do?
They're the same things.
Are they the same? Why shouldn't they be the same?
Why shouldn't they be the same?
They're not like us.
Aren't they?
Stands to reason. Work it out for yourself. Just work it out.
For instance, you're not like me, are you? No, I'm not. You're not like me either.
You're not a bit like me, so they're not a bit like us. So they aren't like us.
Funny.
Yeah, they've got some funny ways. We're on this side of the wall.
And they're on that side of the wall.
Fancy wanting to live on the other side of the wall. Fancy not wanting to live here.
Funny.
Yes, they've got some funny ways. But you have funny ways too.
Have they got funny ways though?
Yeah.
We've all got funny ways.
We don't know what ways they've got though.
But they always are funnier over there.
Still, as long as they're on that side of the wall, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter as long as they're on that side of the wall and we're on this.
I'm not so sure.
What do you mean? I can think very quiet. We're quiet. We've got nothing to make a noise about.
What about them?
What about them? What have they got to be so quiet about?
It's unnatural.
It's unusual.
It's disturbing.
It's disquieting.
It's abnormal.
It's uncomfortable.
It's not as it should be.
It's sinister.
It's enough to make your hair stand on end. It's enough to send cold shivers right down your back. Just thinking about it.
Just wondering, what are they doing on that side of the wall?
They could be doing anything behind that wall.
Just think.
Like what?
They wouldn't.
I wouldn't put it past them.
That!
Oh,
Not that!
Not what?
Not them!
They wouldn't.
really? You're thinking? You're exaggerating. Exaggerating?
We wouldn't do it.
You would expect anybody to do that?
We're not like them.
They're not like
even
us.
them.
For instance,
Not to mention, maybe even like.
just you wait. Wait for what?
Or even...
Just you wait till you see it happening.
Don't be silly. I know exactly what they're doing on that side of the wall.
I'll tell you what they're doing on the other side.
Watch. Tell us.
They're lying down in the sun. Maybe chewing on one bit of grass.
They're looking up at the sky and working out tomorrow's weather.
Or they counting chickens. They're doing what we're doing.
they're doing exactly what we're doing.
I knew they weren't to be trusted. Just look! Look at them!
Have a look, quickly. Look. Look at the top. How?
Climb up!
The top.
Looking over!
Spying!
On us! We caught them at it!
And were they surprised?
They never expected that.
You're fairly caught. Caught in the act.
But why were they doing it?
Why would they want to do it?
Aha! We can guess!
That's just the half story.
It's only the tip of the iceberg!
They're ready for something.
We must be ready for them.
Ready for what? Ready for anything.
Anything could happen!
They're not like us.
They're nothing like us!
They're
they can't
cruel.
be relied on! Devilish!
Fiendish.
Evil!
Savages.
Toms. But see, let's consider.
Let's think carefully.
We never have seen if we hadn't peeped. We looked over the wall too.
Yeah, but where would we be at if we hadn't?
It's well what we did.
Couldn't we forget it all happened?
Couldn't we make any allowances?
Yes, why not indeed?
Ah, yes.
If we want to be made into mince.
If we want to wake up with our throats cut,
But what can we do?
There's no doubt at all.
one thing's certain.
We fight, or we move on.
It's them or us!
The front is always the wall.
Pull it down! Pull it down! Pull it down! Pull it down! Pull it down!
Going.
Going.
You could stay. It's good land.
It was good land.
We didn't mean to.
If only we hadn't.
You.
We
too.
It was the wall, you know.
The wall was to blame.
We should have made it stronger,
Thicker.
higher.
Longer.
It was the wall.
It's difficult in times like these. Ideals, dreams, and cherished hopes rise within us only to be crushed by grim reality. It's a wonder I haven't abandoned my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical. Yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good inside.
What's done cannot be undone, but one can prevent it happening again.
I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains.
I see the world slowly transforming into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions. And yet, when I look up to the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better. That cruelty too shall end. That peace and tranquility will return once more.
like to thank every single one of you for coming, and I've wanted to do this for a while. Since I went to Auschwitz, if you look in your programs, there'll be a section that I wrote there. Since I went to Auschwitz, you've heard the stories that I've heard, and hopefully you felt what I felt. But I'd like to take this opportunity to ask if anybody has any questions they would like to ask, either to me or to the rest of the cast, and we'll be happy to answer.
The two different groups, did you find it a challenge to do that when you're not actually sort of dialogue together, or?
During rehearsals, we did find it quite hard to do it together, so what we did was we separated into our respective sides, learnt the lines separately, put it all together, and we would continuously do that until we got what you saw today.
Did going to Auschwitz change your perception on what happened with all the murders of the Jewish people?
Yes, very much so. Something that I think is very prevalent to the Holocaust is how it's being taught in schools. And what we're taught is we're taught a number, and we're taught the statistics of these deaths. What we aren't taught is that every single one of these people was an individual person. They had different lives, they had houses, they had families, they had dreams and goals. And it's when you realize that they were separate people, they were just like me, they were just like you, that you finally understand that it's not just the Holocaust. It can happen now, in the future, to anyone. And I think that was the greatest lesson that I learned from going to Auschwitz. Any other questions?
What did you feel when you left Auschwitz?
When I left Auschwitz?
Away?
It was very difficult to know what I felt as I walked out of the gates. And it only came to me how I felt on the plane back from Poland. And honestly, I felt terror. And I felt scared because I was very scared that this could happen again. And that if we don't learn from our mistakes, we could end up reliving them. Anyone else?
The play is really powerful. Where did you get the idea from for doing it? And did you intend to deliberately have the reference to sort of Donald Trump's wall?
The no reading play or the whole thing together?
And the play where you had the two sides and
yes,
the second half, us and them.
Well, the original idea came from Connie Jensen, just in the corner there. And she wanted us to do that as a sort of show just for parents and just for friends and families. But when I was putting together this show, Connie brought it back up, and we both decided that it fits with the idea of the Holocaust, that you can easily turn on one another, and bonds can be broken, walls can be formed, and everything can be pulled down around you. The reference to the wall that you brought up just brings it into a sort of nowadays view, because if we put up walls between us, then surely we're just reliving the mistakes of the past and separating us once again. Any other questions? Well, as I say, thank you very much for coming to watch the show. I'd like to ask you to please donate to the Holocaust Educational Trust, as they were the ones that took me to Auschwitz, and they've taken plenty others, and I would like to give some money to them to at least afford to send another group. Thank you very much.
Conah, can I just ask a question of the cast generally?
Yes.
How did you feel, now you've been part of the whole thing and it's all put together, how did you feel acting that play out? Because at first it seems very innocent, doesn't it? It's sort of, oh, we've got good neighbours. Do any of you want to say something about the whole experience? Daisy?
It was kind of weird because we did the play in bits. We did the first half, then we did the second half. But we didn't quite make it to the end half till the end. So it was kind of weird going from light and funny to death.
Yeah, and like we did it a few years ago, and like when we did it then, we didn't like understand those bands.
Anybody else? As I say, could you please donate? We have a bucket back there. I will be around shortly if anybody wants to ask me any questions privately, or I'll just be doing the donations.
Thank you.